If you are a tall girl and you want to hear about one of the struggles that I feel like we face that is not talked about enough, please keep watching this video. I feel like one of the struggles that we have as tall people is that it is expensive for us to live. Yes, very expensive for us to live. Something that I feel like just isn't talked about enough is that we have to spend so much money on things that people get to spend money on that they don't even think about, like clothes, for instance. Clothes are expensive for us. Like a pair of pants, I feel like probably are 2 to 3 times more expensive than a regular pair of pants. And I say that because I feel like I know for one, they're using more materials, but at the same time, I feel like it's not fair. Like, why should we have to spend more money on something that we can't help? Like, and people might argue that, people that are bigger in weight, they have to spend more money. But yeah, you can change your weight for the most part. I can't change my height. I'm this tall, like there's nothing I can do about it. So I always find it kind of crazy that we have to spend so much money on clothes. Not only is it hard for us to find the clothes that we do have to find, when we do find them, the prices just seem to be a little bit outrageous. So I feel like that's one thing that as tall people we really do struggle with. Um, there are a few sites that I do shop with. I have them on my not Pinterest. I have them on my TikTok where I named a few tall girl brands. So if you want to check that out, go ahead. I will make sure I put my socials in the description box. But yeah, being tall, finding clothing is already hard, and then the clothing prices are also hard. Now, I will say that more and more people are making brands for us tall girls, which is perfect. Now, of course, I feel like if you're tall and you have more money, it is a little bit easier for you to access as far as like finding, brands and clothes. Like a lot of NBA, WNBA players, they probably have a little bit more leeway with that just because they are a little bit more financially better off than us. So therefore, they're able to kind of find like a tailor or something like that, someone that can make their clothes for them, which is something that I personally want to do. I want to have somebody that can make my clothes for me because when I tell you, I have so many Pinterest outfit ideas that I want to like recreate, but it's kind of hard to recreate it because trying to find that exact same outfit for my height, it's kind of difficult. But I do want to shout out to those brands that are making more and more tall girl clothes for us accessible. And there are some brands that are inexpensive, don't get me wrong, but some of the ones that I have shopped with, like Long Tall Sally, what's the other one, American Tall, they're a little bit on the more expensive side. But I will say that their clothes do last a long time. So I guess in a sense, you are getting your money's worth. Another thing that is expensive for us is cars. Because we are so tall, usually we're having to find cars that are bigger, and we all know a bigger car is going to cost more money. Now, I will say there are some small cars that do seem to fit taller people. Like there are times where I've been in friends' cars where they might be driving like Ultima or something like smaller, and I seem to fit in that better than certain friends' cars that have like Jeeps. It just kind of depends because there are some small cars that do fit pretty well for tall people. But for the most part, when you are taller, you do want a bigger car. You want a truck. You want a Jeep. You want what's my favorite car? I love the Forerunner. I've always loved the Toyota Forerunner. Another car I really love is Suburban, but those cars, not only are they going to be cost more than a smaller car, but they're also going to cost more because of the gas guzzling. Yes, that's another thing I got to worry about is paying for gas money. So, because I'm so tall, of course, I know I'm going to need a car that's going to fit me. Now, of course, if I was making bank, I would make my own car. Not make my own car, but you can customize your own car. A lot of athletes, they customize their own cars, but of course, I don't have athlete money, so I can't be customizing a car. So trying to find a car that fits us is hard. And then, like I say, a lot of the times we're having to spend more money on a car because we have to get a bigger car. And we all know bigger cars, yeah, that means more money. Whether you're spending it on the actual car or on gas, because bigger cars are definitely going to gas guzzle. Now, of course, you can find cars that are more like economically, what is it, like the economy type cars, but I don't want to charge a car either. That's just not what I want to do. But I do feel like that's something that people don't think about when it comes to tall people. Also with housing, like because we're so tall, we want to have a place that most houses, let's just be honest, houses are not made for super tall people. Okay, they're not. The house I stay in right now with me and mom, Our house is not necessary. It's not tall people accessible. Nothing about this house is tall people accessible. Um, sinks aren't never tall for us. Toilets aren't tall for us. We got to squat all the way down to get to the toilet. Like, there are times where if I wear my hair up, my bun isn't going to fit through the doorway. Like, let's just be honest. Tall houses are not made for tall people. That's why I feel like some tall people, especially if you have the money, which prayerfully one day I will get that way, I want to build my own house so I can build it to where it's tall enough for me and my husband or our kids. I want it to be tall where everything's tall accessible. You guys know where people like little people a lot of the times stuff in the houses aren't made for them. So it's kind of funny how little people and tall people kind of have like around the same problems. So I remember I used to watch a show where they got their house built to where everything was able for them to reach it or able, accessible to their shorter statures. So as a tall person, I feel like that's something that we also have to worry about is having a home where everything is, enough for us to feel comfortable in. We don't want to bend over all the time to get into doorways or bend over to our sinks or I'm not able to take like a sit down bath because my tub is too small for me to fit in. Like I'm gonna be having my knees up. I can't have my legs relaxed. That's not really a relaxing bath if I have to have my knees up the whole time. So something that a lot of people take for granted that we sometimes think about as tall people is houses. We can't Most houses are not made. They're just made for the average human being. They're not made for super, super tall people. So that is one of my dreams is to definitely build my own home to where it's going to fit me or someone even taller than me. So that way we can feel comfortable and not have to. Now, of course, whoever's coming to visit me, they're going to feel kind of weird, but they don't live there. So that is another expense that a lot of people don't think about, but as tall people is we do think about is cars and also our homes. Now, with all that being said, it then makes you wonder should tall people have careers where they are making more money, or should we be making more money than the average human? It kind of does make you think like, because we do need more money at times, it does make you think like, should we have careers where we're making a lot more money, or should we be given some type of like stipend because we're so tall? I don't know. Like groceries also, like we eat, okay? I know I do. We eat a lot, all right? And that's another expense. And we all know in this economy, groceries are higher than a mother. Yeah, they're super, super high. So I feel like that is another thing that we definitely think about. Like I think about it. I just feel like, I feel like a lot of the times you have to have money. Like imagine me getting married to a man that's even taller than me and then we have even super tall kids. That's money. Okay? You got to feed these kids, you got to feed yourself. The kids grow up, it's a lot. So it does make you wonder, should we only or do tall people need to have careers where they are making a substantial amount of money to where they can afford their lifestyles? And it also makes you think, well, maybe tall people, which that might be a little bit more, that might be discriminating to other people though. But hey, you know what? Listen, the world discriminates against us every day. Okay, the world is not made for people our height. So maybe we should get a little bit extra money in our careers. I don't know. But yeah, being tall is definitely not a inexpensive thing. Trust me, my parents spent plenty of money on me when I was growing up, not only on food, but also clothes. I was growing every year, all the time. Some kids, when they went back to school, they could maybe keep some of the clothes they had last year. I couldn't do that. I was outgrowing everything, before. So I had to get new stuff every year. That wasn't a luxury of mine. Shoes, I had to buy this, I had to buy that. I played sports, so my parents had to pay for this, pay for that sport. It wasn't a cheap thing. That's another thing I think about is when I have kids, if my kids play sports, that's another expense I gotta do. So yeah, that's all parents though. Any parent that has a child that plays sports, it's not cheap. But listen, it's expensive. Okay, the world is already expensive. Being alive is already expensive, but when you're taller and bigger, it becomes a little bit more expensive. To me, it does. I hope this video makes sense. I hope this video can be relatable to certain people. I do feel like it is more expensive for us to live a life versus the average size human, but hey, that's just me. Of course, This video is a little bit shorter than my other videos just because I didn't want to have like this super long video because I really didn't have a lot of points to cover. I just felt those were the main points that I feel like, is something that we deal with as hobby. But of course, if you feel differently or you have your own opinion on it, please feel free to comment. Um, Next video, I'm going to try to post 2 videos this week. I'm going to post this one today, which is Wednesday, and then I'll try to post another one by Sunday. So we'll see. Because I didn't post anything last week. So I'm trying to make up for last week and post 2 videos this week. So as always, please comment, like, and subscribe, and hope to see you all in my next video.